Alright guys, so we've ducked down to my buddy's scooter at Custom Fabrications. He's just given me a bit of a chop out with some of the plumbing and pipe work. I do have a TIG at work. It's not set up, so for me, in a time constraint to get it set up and use it, it's going to be hard. So he's down here, give us a go. Like TIG work, welding work, if you can do it yourself, even just get a project car, or something. If you're interested, have a go. It's the only way you'll learn anything. Don't suggest you going out doing it on a good project car, but maybe have a go on, you know, just a bit of scrap or something like that if you're interested in it. So let's have a look at what we got happening down here. Alright, it's rough, ready, cheap, but it'll get the job done. Now, you've probably heard me talk about the trophy truck. So it's been hiding down here, finishing off a couple of little odds and ends, and yeah, we'll give you a sneak peek at it. Alright, so this is it. We've got massive suspension travel triple pass shocks. Scoot's been mounting all these fire extinguishers, canisters for the shocks, and a trolley jack mount up the back here. Nice easy access under the spare wheel. Give me a bit of a look through, Jasp. Rightio, so we've fitted up our injectors, our Chinese rails. Now, I'm guessing they're for a long injector. I thought they'd be universal where you could flip the bracket, but didn't want to sit properly, so I've re-drilled the brackets, put some washers under them. I'm guessing that with the long injector or standard size injector, not a short, it has a little bit of room to play. With these shorts, I can get 3 sitting nicely, but the 4th one, it just doesn't line up. It's obviously not machined spacing correctly. I've seen this before. There's not much you can do about it. What else have we done? So we're about ready to put this on. I have give this thing a bit of a nice polish out here, clean it up, but it helps. Make sure the throttle blade's free. A couple of bolts in some of these vac holes that we don't need, and these are some actual diesel push connects which will run to connect to our factory fuel lines. Thinking we're going to run twin lines to it and reg it, then return, not deadhead this time. So yeah, we're looking at pulling another fuel rail out, a fuel line out to run the extra return line. So now what we've got here is we're about to slap this one on. No new gaskets. So we've got Uncle Urethane here. And what we're going to do, this stuff is pretty much fuel, methanol, everything resistant. I glue most inlets on with this, like in burnout cars, not everyday passenger cars. So what we'll do, we're just going to run a thin smear around the rubber of each one. Now this should go everywhere, so let's get it done. Alright, as I said, this will go everywhere. You don't want it on your hands. Apparently if you get it on your hands, you can't have kids. So it hasn't worked for me, but it might work for you. So I'm going to use this, and then we're going to turf this glove as far away as possible. So okay, so we nearly had a bit of a whoopsie. So once it's glued on, it ain't coming off. It's probably going to break when it comes off. And I nearly forgot the steam ports in the heads because my Spider steam port I ordered, yeah, Raj took my money and has done a runner, I think. So yeah, let's glue this on now, and now that I've got them steam ports on. So. Alright, what are we doing here, Jade?
I've just pulled this power harness out of the VE out the back, and now I'm cutting the brackets off the line so we can fit it into the Junkyard Dog.
Good stuff. Is that what you're doing for your school holidays?
Basically.
Rightio, so this here part has been on just about every one of our builds. So we thought it was fit that we'd pull it off and we'd use it on our build. Now we'll replace it with, which we originally were going to put a good one on, so we'll put a good one on this car now, and yeah, we're going to reuse this one, and then I'll explain where this reg has been and what it's been up to. Okay, so it's currently Thursday the 23rd. We left Christmas virtually. I ordered some stuff before we went, and we've come home and I've ended up really sick for a week. So we're a bit behind. I'll run through where we're at and what jobs we've got doing. They'll probably be pretty quick though, because we obviously don't have a lot of time to spare and muck around. So in the mail we've come home to some 3-inch clamps off eBay. They were cheap as chips. So we've got plenty of them to screw our plumbing together. Yeah, that ECU in the mail. So we paid for the credits from the postman, and we've got a tune. It's a bench tune. We'll see what it does. We can adjust it a little bit via the reg, but not much. So I also did get onto a very cheap AF ratio gauge. Now we're going to see if it's any good. It might not be any good, but that might give us a gauge. Now onto our reg here. I've chosen to use this reg on this build. One, because it owes us nothing, and I'll explain why. And two, because we've used it in most of our builds, or budget builds, we'll say. So this reg come about when I was building with a pink car, when it was maroon originally. I first put the LS in it, and it was just it was a cheap build that ended up blowing out. But back 15 years ago, before the days of Marketplace, when you had to know someone who had parts for sale or someone was wrecking cars, you'd go see those guys and they'd know who had stuff. I brought a tank, and it was a little 20-litre tank, and it used to just leak out the lid flat out. So we used it for a bit, had a few fires with it, got rid of it, upgraded. It also came with a, what was there? There was a reg, a fuel pump. The fuel pump was obviously a knockoff Bosch, and it had, where it seamed around the top and joined, it was leaking around there. Likewise, another couple of fires, so we got rid of that pump. That's long gone. And this reg has stood the test of time. So it was on that car. It did break out the metric screws out of the back here, and the reg rattled around a little bit there. That's probably why there's screws missing out of the top. We put it in the party ute when we first built that. It was tech screwed to the firewall. The top actually come undone and leaked fuel in through the firewall and into the dash area. We obviously just screwed it back together. From memory, I think the gauge shit itself, I thought we put a good gauge on it, but it's still another cheap gauge, so I don't even know where the gauge come from. But this car, it's like a Malvern Star, everyone's had a ride of it. It's been on most of our projects. And then I've just, actually sorry, it was in Caleb's car in Loose Kid, and at store one day it leaked for some reason and it caught fire also. And then it's ended up in the hill climb track car because we didn't have a reg when we were putting it together, and I'd ordered one for it and I've never just got around to fitting it. So I thought, perfect idea to remove it and we'll run it on this one. So when I brought that stuff, I reckon it was like 150, 200 bucks worth of stuff back in the day, because you know, that was just, if you could find the guys, you know, it's not like it is now. You can get on Marketplace and you can buy all this stuff, or eBay, you can buy them cheap. But yeah, back then it was a matter of knowing someone with something. But that's the story between yeah, Malvern Star the reg. So we'll put some Star fuel on it. We'll give it a run on this and see how we go. So we're just finishing off these fuel rail hoses. That's our bit of Chinesey one that come with those rails. I don't think the quality is much good. I'd probably prefer to use some of this second hand that's been burnt and whatnot, but what I've got these for, we've got a box of this stuff where we just cut the ends off for the fittings. So I'll reuse them. They're old ProFlow fittings. We haven't used them for a very, very long time. So yeah, I'll nip the ends off them and reuse them fittings. Now that there's a Teflon, end out of a Teflon fitting. So I end up with wiring my fingers, but what we've done is, yeah, we've salvaged some of them now. I don't know how that one will go. It's pretty hammered, but that's for the oil return, which I'll show you in a minute. Our return and feed setups that we've done. It's pretty basic on these. But while I got you, CCS 31s. They always break because everyone's rough with them. Coolant temp sensors, $22 on clearance at Repco at the moment because they're changing over to OEXs. So really good buying if you want some. Cheap at the moment down there, while the stock's in the warehouse. So yeah, we'll get on to making these couple of lines up, get his rig hooked up, and yeah. Rightio, so this is our feed line here. Just taps in there. It was a eBay special, not very much, 20-30 bucks. So this little piece down here, you pull off the side of the sump. I was going to show you guys, but yeah, we're a bit short on time. So you drill the arse out of it, MPT tap it, put a little fitting in there, which comes in the kit, and then yeah, screw it up, and that's the easiest way to feed your turbo. Now supply, we're running supply down. Now I'm hoping, I should have done this before we actually put the engine in and the covers on, but I'm going to tap it in here somewhere with an NPT -8 and return feed it in there, just route it through the belts. It's not going to be neat, but yeah, should have probably done it before we got carried away. But anyway, we were a bit excited then. So as I explained, we're running twin fuel lines, so we're just going to run, because they're little, so we're going to run 2 V6 just factory filters under there. We've got plenty of factory fittings. That's my standard map sensor. I ordered a LSA map sensor, about 30 bucks. We got that, I've lost it. So we're sort of up shit creek without a paddle at the moment about the map sensor. And the other thing is, before Christmas I ordered some 3-inch silicon pipe for the cold side, and what else is there? A couple of barb fittings. So we were going to run these on the rails, but I'm just going to barb them and just bang the hose straight onto them. It's going to be the cheapest way rather than 2 sets of fittings and whatnot. So they're missing, and something else. So we're hoping, so the email didn't get sent, the computer shut down for Christmas and didn't send. So we're hoping that they show up tomorrow. If not, maybe a drive to Melbourne, or which is 2.5 hours for us. So yeah, we're in a bit of a pickle there, but I think otherwise we're pretty good. So I'm just trying to get some bits done that I can work around without having these parts, which I really need. So every bit that's missing, I need to finish a piece. So but anyway, we'll get into it hopefully tomorrow night and Saturday, and test it Saturday arvo and run it Sunday. So we've had some luck. Scotty from Raceworks has got the package delivered today, last day of deliveries. Now this was ordered pre-Christmas, but we had a problem with our internet and emails, and nothing got sent. So we got this through yesterday and it's arrived today. So this is the deal breaker for us. And we did, we were going to get this off of eBay, but their prices on silicone hose was the same money. So. But these are the little bits that will push you over the edge. So yeah, length of silicone hose, couple of barb fittings. So we're not going to use the quick connect, factory quick connects. We're just going to barb the hose straight on in a hose clamp. Cheapest, easiest way to do it. I wouldn't advise doing it on a good car, but we're certainly going to do it with this one. And that's the customer's order, and must be the customer's order too, which is not what it was. But anyway, so we'll get this done and hopefully get it fired up soon. Alright, we'll have one more quick look under here at some of the dodgy jobs we've been doing. So this is our crossover that we made. It's pretty nice, you know, you'd pay big dollars for that sort of job. We've used utilised the factory shifter shaft. Now you just got to adjust them. It's about 10 mil, it's not very much at all. So under here you can see our VE power cable we've run back into the boot. Now there is a rubber fuel line run there. We didn't use a factory line. I'll go into why and what happened there. Half a day went by and we got nowhere. So we've got our twin fuel filters there, and yeah, power cable. I have put a grommet into the boot there, a gland. I didn't want this thing to catch fire, so otherwise I wouldn't have used one, but just for safety's sake. So that's where we're at under here. Alright, so today's the last day. I've been down here for about half an hour cleaning up, and this is why. So Caleb, my young fella who we sacked from editing because he was not paying too much attention and too busy working on his patrol and other things, I've had to re-enlist him because I needed some help. Now, the kid's good and handy, but this is what I've got to deal with. We obviously had some Kentucky Fried Chicken there, but like, he does a killer job. He's wired in these fuel pumps off a relay and direct powered from the battery, but look at the mess. Every tool, every drawer in the toolbox is pulled apart. There's literally shit everywhere. That's just Caleb, but he gets the job done. Alrighty, so these are the dramas you run into using second-hand shit. This power harness we had, which I don't remember where I got it from now, but someone had cut the alternator signal wire off. So I've gone down, we've got a pile of looms down the back, I've gone down and hacked that off and just rejoined it and shrink wrapped it. Got some conduit left over from the job this week, so I'll slip that on. And what else have we done in here? So we've got our fitting into the timing cover there. Now that was, I thought, it is an NPT fitting that goes in there, and I didn't have the tap, so I've actually re-tapped the fitting, ground it down and re-tapped it to just standard thread, and standard thread tapped it and lock sealed it in there, so hopefully it's not pressure, so it should be right. Anyway, we'll get the rest of this thrown back together. Another thing I'll quickly show you is I have OCD about fittings all matching, all same colours and everything, and I don't like hose clamps and rubber hose unless it's a factory VH308 or something. But so we've barb fitted this one. That in there, we've got a factory push fitting. We've got some Chinesey dash fittings there, and we've gone into our second-hand dash fittings there, and yeah, we've got a which 100 type series. Then we've gone down to a push barb on that end to factory fit that end, and it's bits of just shit. But anyway, none of it's worth anything. If you were to go buy rails, a good reg, all your hoses, all your fittings and all that, you know, you're probably $1,000 up, so there's half your budget gone. So we're and injectors new, you know, there's your couple of grand, so money does go away. We've done this, and look, potentially do the same sort of thing for a couple $100. So you know, it'd be interesting to see the outcome of it. We obviously shouted a new belt, and actually here's a good one. This tensioner I had back on a car ages ago. It was in the bitzer pile. I've used a seatbelt spacer and some washers there because it's missing one of these pieces. That's why it's obviously in there and not on a car. Otherwise it's a good thing, but I might take that off at a later date and machine some fittings up and use it on a good car, because that is a good fitting. It's better than some of the other ones. Just another bits apart. Alright, so benefits of running the workshop. Word oil on tap. So we're going to go through, select some oils, Penrod only, obviously, it's the best thing, and get some into this thing and get it oil pressure up and fired up. Alright, so we've picked out HPR 15 for the engine. It's got a good cleaning agent in it, so we'll run that for a little bit and then dump it and put some fresh stuff in. Sort of normally a HPR 5 in a good LS, and out to a HPR 30 in a big one, but we'll go for something like that. Got some Dexy for the auto, that should sort that out, and just some 80/90 for the diff. It's not an LSD or anything like that. They normally have 140 with LSD, but it's just a couple of gears and bearings in there, so that should sort the diff out. And also, while we're going, we got some plug leads. They're probably about $150 trade through Repco. The Arat boys, it's a consumable part. The Arat boys at Arat Repco have kindly thrown us some of them and wished us good luck. So thanks guys, we appreciate it. It helps us out. Cheers. Okay, so here we are after running it up. We borrowed a set of tuning software. It was way too fuely. Pulled some fuel out with the reg. Still couldn't get it happy. Pulled out some fuel out of the tune and got it pretty happy. Then we lost oil pressure. So we're just gonna rip him out and find out why. The filter's clean. So we had good oil pressure, then we went to instantly nothing. So sussing maybe an oil pickup or probably an oil relief valve jammed or something along the lines, a bit of shit that gunky motor. So stay tuned, we'll get this thing going and then get him back and get it. We'll have to get a proper tune done on it. We'll work that out. It's obviously going to bust the budget, but we're now just committed to getting it down the street. Okay, so we didn't make it to the show on Sunday, which we were a bit pissed about, but I guess that's cars and that's what's happened. So we'll go through what went on. We're obviously touching up the tune the night before and we lost oil pressure. Thought we'd caught it pretty quick, but obviously not. So we yanked the motor just so we could crank it on the stand to try a few things and check, what it was, why it had no oil pressure. So first things first, we pulled the filter and pulled the filter and cut it open. Now that's just a good guide to tell you if there's any metal in it, which we did. We found some metal. So therefore we had to work out whether or not once we found what was wrong with it, whether or not we could get away with running it. So we're going to check the bearings and things like that. Next thing was pull the sump off. Once we got the sump off, we found out that our pickup, which you can still see I've picked most of it out, but there's a bit of shit in that pickup. More shit Barra driver talks in there, and that's what's caused the oil starvation. So next thing was to check or any damage had been done, if we caught it in time or not. Rods were still in it, so that was a bonus. We pulled the windage tray off, and if we have a look here, Jay, so we've got normal colours here, and we check for play. These ones here, they're being hot. So bearings are toast, crank will be toast, big ends will be toast. The rest of it's fine, but number 3 and 4, she's cooked. So we're obviously out of the game now. We've got our little sheet here that we done up, spends and consumables and what we sold off it, etc. So we made $700, which give us a $2,700 total, but we were at, what were we, Jasper? 3 and 30. So we're about $330 over budget going into it. Now, we did talk to Scotty, and he said put on a tenth every $100. So we'd have to go, you know, at 12 and a half, something like that. But anyway, that's done and dusted. But what we decided we're going to do now is I found a good clean motor. It's obviously worth double what this one was, so it was $1,000 for a good clean one, and it is, it's spotless. So we're going to roll all the bits out of this one, throw it into another one, get it in. Another thing we found whilst we were, I don't know if you're about to see it, but we found the bell housing's got a crack in it, so that may have been why that box was cheap. Now someone's looking over us, because that could have been pretty bad. I'm gonna just cut that one off. Rod Shop boys are sending me a bolt-on housing. They've just made them, so we're gonna still keep it as cheap as possible, obviously, and we're just gonna see how quick we can get this thing to go. So we will do another video once we're back going again and we've got it tuned up and we head over to the strip. And yeah, so if you're interested, obviously we're out of the 2K challenge, but if you're interested, we'll see how quick we can get this thing going, see if we can blow a couple of them barrels away. Now, if you haven't watched, take a look at them. The boys done really well. They've done some killer passes. Like, that was out of the shit they built stuff out of, that's a really good feat. I know a guy's spending lots of money and not even getting near those numbers. So them boys have done real, Barra Bob and those boys, yeah, they've done really well. So yeah, stay tuned, and yeah, we'll see what we can get going with this thing, see how quick we can get it.